What's up, everyone? MrAnimeRandom here, and it is the 11th episode of the Random Anime Podcast. And joining me today for the 11th episode is Ricky,
Hello there.
James,
Hey.
and Zach.
Pikachu!
Ooh, kind of sounds weird. But
Pika?
anyway, we are going to be talking about anime conventions. It's a little bit of an introduction into our experiences with anime conventions, different things that we've seen from other people's experiences with conventions, things on the internet, things from videos, whole nine. And we have just a few different perspectives here within the group today because Ricky lives in Ireland and he's gone to how many conventions roughly, would you say, Ricky?
About 15-ish?
Okay, but you've gone to a bunch and you've gone
Wow.
to ones in different areas of the country, right?
Go ahead.
And Zach,
Dublin, Galway, Cork, and so on.
you've gone to a bunch too, correct?
I've gone to 5 different conventions for 3 years, so roughly 15 or so.
And different areas, like not the same general area. It's a little bit spread out,
No.
correct?
I've been to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Raleigh, North Carolina, and DC.
Okay.
And about to be Atlanta.
So, mixture of different ones. And the only one who has not gone to a convention yet, who will just listen in on the experiences and kind of pipe in on some of these different things, is our buddy James,
Yes, indeed.
who
You better
I'm
be
sure
taking notes.
who I'm sure would love to go to a convention. He just has not gone and experienced one yet.
Very true. So very
So,
true.
that introduction taken care of, I figured we'd start off with the absolute basics, what you need to know if you yourself have never gone to a convention and you are looking to get into the con world, what to expect, what is more or less the necessities versus, I guess, more of the fun stuff. And there's plenty of things to do. I mean, Ricky and Zach can confer with me and agree with me that there's something for everybody there, whether you cosplay or you're into more of the panelists or you're into just kind of interacting with, you know, fellow nerds of the same category or whatever it is. There's always something to do at a convention, no matter what you like to do, correct?
True.
Undoubtedly.
Right? So, James, since you have not gone to a convention yet, here is some, I would say, helpful hints and tips to get you going for your first experience because we want to make sure that we're going to go ahead and set you up for success and not failure. One
Okay.
thing I absolutely suggest you do is, and as crazy as it sounds, it's definitely a useful tip. If you're going to a major convention, something that a convention that's been around for a long time, usually they take place in major cities, whether it's like New York City or in
Montreal.
Montreal or Washington D.C. or any of these, or Los Angeles or San Francisco or wherever a major city is, whether it's in U.S. or Canada or over in the UK, wherever you decide to go, make sure you're booking your accommodations for sleeping and staying I would say minimum. The minimum amount of time I would say is at least 6 months in advance, if not
Okay.
earlier.
Okay.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
And
Especially if
that
you're trying to book with other people as well. If you're trying to go as a group, it makes it a lot easier.
now, in some cases, you might be able to get not only a good rate by booking early, but I have noticed that a lot of these big conventions, and I've gone to a few. I haven't gone to too many, but I've gone to enough where if you don't book well in advance, people who have gone to the convention while they're at the convention, they're planning on the next year's convention and already booking their hotel. And mainly that's what happens, and the hotels book up fast. And there's no telling how quickly that they will book and get filled up. So that's kind of a pro tip number one. Now,
Mhm.
Ricky, I'm sure, has another nice piece of advice for first time convention goers. What would be another suggestion you have, Ricky, that would be like a pro tip? Pro tip number two.
Pro tip number two, like you said there, like accommodation, you can never book it too early. It's always great. I think one thing that's really good is save because cons can be expensive, and there's trade
It's true.
halls, there's artist alleys. You're probably gonna be eating out because you won't have time or maybe access to be cooking. So, like, it's always important to save. Think of it as like a little holiday away, which it basically is. So, just you cannot save enough money, like, and like if you see something in the trade halls that you absolutely have to get, like I did. Like the last example I went to was Cork, and I spent all my money the night before in a pub. Next day, I saw a Tyranitar plush. It was huge and it was gorgeous, but it was 30 quid. It was out of my price range. I was gutted, but yeah, so always save and conserve your money anyway.
Yeah, you can. It's very dangerous to go to a convention, and I'm saying that because if you have a wallet filled with money, don't expect to leave the convention with any money
Also,
because
one
it
other
all
thing as well is like
disappears.
with things like trade halls and stuff, don't really buy things the first day.
Oh,
Usually
no,
wait
you
till like
wait
the
till the
last day or
last day
something because one, you'll
because
spend
they're
your money
cheap.
too fast, and sometimes prices drop if you can haggle with them towards the end when they're just trying to get rid of stuff.
Yeah,
Yes,
not
there
only
is.
that, they usually do like two for like if it's art, it's like they'll do 2 for 10 or 3 for 20 or something like that. You get better deals on like if it's a full weekend, you get the better deal on the Sunday rather than Saturday or Friday.
Makes sense.
Right. Now, Zach, I'm sure that since you've gone to a bunch of conventions just like me and Ricky have, when should now we already talked about the hotels or motels or wherever you're staying. How about when you get your passes for actually attending? When's the best time? Help our buddy James out. When would be the best time
Now,
to go?
um, in order of things that you must get, I would say hotel is first. That's the first thing you have to get. Unless if you live within a 15 to 30 mile radius of the con, you can get away with not having a hotel.
Okay.
But if you're not, hotels first because those go super fast. And if you get like a double bed, you can actually sell to other people. Saying, let's say you bought one room, two beds for $400 for the whole weekend, which is extremely cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
actually
can
pretty cheap.
then go on to like the con's message boards because every con has like a group on Facebook, on Reddit, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Every con has one, and say, "Hey, I have a room with two beds. I can have up to 4 or 5 people in this room. If you give me 40, $50 for $50, you can be in the room." And
Now,
that's one way of making your money back. But then, let's 6 months beforehand, you get your hotel. Get your pass no later than a month because the prices will always go up. Like the con that I just went to, I bought my pass for $80 for the whole weekend. And that was the day before. If I bought that pass for next year, right now, I would only pay $45.
Yeah, there's always going to be a time where you'll have a limited number of passes. So if you're going to a major convention like Otakon or like a Comic Con or
Oh,
and
Comic Con! If you want to go to Comic Con, you have to get those
yeah,
day they
so
come out.
anytime there's a convention, whether it's anime cons or Comic Cons or whatever the case might be, they'll have, let's say, there's 20,000 passes. They'll usually sell 8,000 to 10,000 passes early. So they'll sell it, like, let's say the convention would be held in July. They'll start selling those passes in April. And
Okay.
the whole weekend pass, instead of it being $100, it would be like $70 or $75. If you wait until maybe 2 months before, it goes up to like 85. If you wait a month before, it goes up to like 95. If you get it at the door, if there's any left, then you're paying the full price of like the 100.
Okay.
Now,
But for like your local con, that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Local cons, they have a ton of passes. They'll let in a lot of people because they want good numbers. But if you're going for the bigger con, the ones that have massive sponsorships that the executives show up and all that stuff, you have to get them early because they will sell out.
yeah. Now, something that I'm going to go ahead and share that is, I would say it's something I always recommend people do, only because uh, whenever you're going to a convention, whether it's a big convention or a smaller convention, I think it's a lot of fun to go ahead and cosplay. Now, my main rules for cosplaying are this because I've done a bunch of cosplays. I've cosplayed a lot at different places. So here are my rules, or here's my pro tips for cosplaying at a convention. One, make sure it's a cosplay that you can actually maneuver in, that you don't need any type of help to kind of maneuver and get around and go up and down stairs or ramps or anything like that. So if it's a cosplay that you can easily move around in, then that's fine. The second thing is, which it is a rule in every convention that I have seen. So I'm saying that it's kind of a normal thing. You will have a lot of people who would want to take your picture. Now, the rules state in many of the conventions, not every single last one, but I would say all of them, is you have to ask the person to take their picture before you actually take their picture.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's not like you're cosplaying and people are just gonna start paparazzi taking your picture and going nuts. Usually they'll go up to you and they'll go ahead and, oh my god, you're whoever, and it's like their favorite character, and then they'll ask to take a picture. And you could say no if you want to, and people understand. They're like, oh, okay, no problem. Or they'll take a picture with you, if you love taking pictures with people. I mean, it's all up to you. Now, me, I didn't mind when people were taking pictures with me because I thought it was fun, and that's why I cosplayed. So that's why I cosplay, is to have people take pictures and, kind of have fun and interact with people and do that kind of thing.
Do your thing.
Now, another thing to add is whenever you're cosplaying, a lot of cosplays, not all, but many cosplays, involves some sort of weaponry. And there's a huge laundry list of rules when it comes to weapons
No metal.
from conventions. Essentially, if you're going with wood,
Mm-hmm.
with foam, plastic, those are fine. And it's got to be of a certain length and of a certain weight. And then there's a whole bunch of other weapons that are restricted or banned completely. So that's kind of just another tip because many characters from anime do have weapons, and a lot of people like having those weapons because it just adds more to the character, or it is their character. It's really hard to say, I am so and so, and you don't have the main weapon to your thing. Like, that would be like saying Rurouni Kenshin without having his reverse blade sword, or role playing or cosplaying as Maka without having Soul as being the scythe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or any other type of weapon combination with character that you can think of. And there's a
Now
lot of them out
the
there.
thing with that rule is like every convention has the different rules. So always check their website for what it is. But most of them will always say the same thing of no no realistic guns.
Right.
So you can't bring in like an airsoft gun and think it's good to go. No metal. So sorry to the people who want to be samurais with the real sword. That ain't happening. So
Now,
it's
Ricky,
just a matter of convention. It's just a matter of which one.
Have you ever gone to a convention over by you and somebody was either caught breaking the rules or you kind of noticed somebody kind of skating past the rules and stuff?
Well, yeah, like there's like you as previously said, like there's just a big list of things that are okay under a certain in certain crowds or whatever. My girlfriend, she was cosplaying a character who has a hurley. If you don't know what a hurley is, it's a bit like a hockey puck, except it's made out of wood. So just
Right,
imagine a hockey puck cross baseball bat or something. That's the best way I can describe it.
right,
And she wasn't allowed to bring normal sized hurley. Like a normal sized hurley would be about the size of a baseball bat. She couldn't bring that into the convention because you could give someone a good whop across the head with that if you wanted to. She
right.
had to bring kind of like a little mini one, which was made of much less dense wood and couldn't do any serious damage. So like I've seen that before. Like to be aware, like blunt objects like baseball bats and even like frying pans and things. Like a lot of conventions won't allow them.
Yeah, there's
Man, you don't see many people doing that. Bringing a frying pan? What are they trying to
there's
be, Flynn Rider?
yeah.
Princess Peach from Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Now there's also some other things with cosplaying, to me, cosplaying is really all about having fun. Now, people that know me know that I have fun with my cosplays, but if you're looking for to be a clone of the cosplayed character, then you want my opinion on your cosplay, then that's a whole nother story than just you whipping something together and going ahead and saying you're cosplaying. So I take it two different ways. Everybody at the cosplay conventions that are cosplaying whipped their things together to make a cosplay. Some are like really, really elaborate and they spent like $1,000 or so on it. And some people, did some homemade stuff and kind of did, a small little bit here and there. And it's just all about, the experience and having fun with it. Um, so that's just little tidbits here and there about the cosplaying. The other thing that I want to bring in, which I saw a video recently online, and I thought it was hilarious because I actually remember this not happening at a specific convention, but I remember the rule being put into place at the convention, and I was like, oh my God, that is so funny. And that was And I'll explain it, guys. So hold your horses if you know what I'm gonna be talking about. Uh, James, have you ever heard of a yaoi paddle?
I knew it.
What?
I
What?
knew it.
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
No.
that video is trending on YouTube.
I have an idea of what it is, but I'm like, oh,
So
please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm
so
wrong.
there used to be a um there used to be a paddle, and it looked like a miniature version of like a pizza paddle that would be used to kind of like shift a pizza around in an oven.
Yeah.
Okay, like a really small version of that, like for like kind of 18 plus material kind of paddle, kind of wooden flat big kind of thing.
Oh, it's one
Mhm.
of those. It's one of the punish paddles that they
Yeah.
used to have in
You've been
schools
a
back in
naughty
like the
boy, Titus.
50s.
Oh,
So
I get. Yeah, I get it.
so what would happen is there was this company that started up this trend to write yaoi on the paddle. And whenever the person would go ahead and buy the official yaoi paddle, they would go up to any person that was cosplaying a character that they had a crush on and whack them on the butt with the yaoi paddle.
God.
Yeah, that would never fly this day and age.
And the problem was with the paddle, you would have these crazed girls mostly that would go a little bit way too overboard and really do some serious damage to people that were complete strangers. And some people took it very kind of jokingly, and they would like have the yaoi paddle and they would just be like a tap, like a almost like a high five
Oh
when the
yeah.
person knew. They were like, high five the yaoi paddle because that's my character that I love, whatever. And that would be fine. It was like whatever. But some people like were like really seriously like whacking the person on the butt.
Like cricket style, just wind up and
Yeah.
whack.
Now that was one thing that was banned on from conventions. Another thing which I saw that's I know it's for Otakon and I've seen it for Anime Next, which is in Atlantic City, and I've seen it in a few other different conventions up by me. They actually banned signs, SIGNS signs.
Wow. It's,
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
unless you're
if it's actually attached to the cosplay,
right.
they're okay with it. But
So
if it's like a sandwich sign that you're just walking around with, yeah, you're not allowed to do that anymore.
so regular signs were banned because of just a whole mess of reasons because some people were advertising different things, some people were advertising businesses and stuff, and they didn't want that. The main reason why they went ahead and banned that was because a lot of people were asking for certain things,
Ooh.
and those certain things became a little bit out of hand, and they just went ahead and just stopped and they ended that completely.
Just like Craigslist.
Yep. So that was kind of another thing that faded out of the cosplay, and not the cosplaying, the whole convention scene. The other thing, which actually was, I would say, a relatively big trend as far as conventions go, and it's really one of those face palm, oh my god, deluxe weeaboo alert, uwu kind of
Mm-hmm.
rule. And they actually had to put it in place because it was considered assault and people are going nuts with it.
Are you talking about the Naruto finger thing?
No. No, not even that. That was that I don't even think that existed, but that didn't really exist to a crazy extent. The thing that was going way too above and beyond crazy, and again, it's because there's those who love anime and there's those who love anime who um, don't seem to realize the social structure of things. And that was people who decided to do glomping.
Oh
Oh,
God.
glopping.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
See, there's various lines that you should never cross at a convention. Going into the triple X area is one of them.
Well, so I know Ricky would love to get glomped and yaoi paddled, but
Oh, absolutely, mate.
but I know James is happy that he does not have to worry about that at a convention.
Yeah.
So, in talking about, a few of these different rules and things, since James, you really haven't experienced any conventions, has there been any that's on your radar that you've explored and maybe have thought about attending?
Um, Nothing really in particular. I mean, I haven't really really looked into in-depth anime conventions around me. Um,
James, where are you?
I'm in Indiana.
All right, there's a few up near you up near
Yeah,
Yeah,
you that are
this
actually pretty good.
and
yeah, sure.
there's which I mean it would be a little bit of a drive, but when you're driving from New Jersey to Maryland to go into like Washington D.C., how far is like Chicago from you?
I think it's like a few hours.
Right.
It's not
Yeah, so that
crazy.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
that bad.
So that's not even that bad. There's actually a bunch in Chicago, and I know that there's also a few because you're right above or right below Michigan too.
Yeah.
So you actually have some conventions right above you as well.
That or
So
you can just go into Ohio.
Yeah.
right. So you have a few like right within your area that you could definitely go ahead and check out. Now, you
Tip
know when
number
to get
one, Google.
you know when to go ahead and get your tickets. You know when to get your hotel room. You
You
know
know
what
some
to
rules.
kind of expect as far as some of the rules go.
Yeah.
However, there is one unofficial rule that I think should be at every dang convention, and Ricky, you will definitely agree with me.
Uh-huh.
Hygiene, please.
I think
Hiking?
that's I think that's kind of like an unofficial rule that's kind of also stated as a rule.
Yeah, like I have seen it so many times at different conventions. Wear
Here's
deodorant, take a shower, change your clothes. It is just because you're at a convention is not an excuse to be completely disgusting.
here's
It's true. Like, I know it's become kind of a meme at this stage, but it really does have to be said though. Like, and people kind of like it's mean. It's an attack on. It's not a personal attack. It's just for everybody's well-being. Like it's just like for God's sake, just take a shower. Like, it's not impossible.
you're
I know some people don't know their own smell, but like, just do this. You can't go wrong if you shower every day and change your clothes every day. Because
your
I mean, if
best
you're in a big area crowded and it's hot, you're going to get a little bit stinky, maybe more so than usual. Like,
your
At
best
least carry a Febreze can or something.
right, your best bet is doing this. You take a backpack with you or some sort of briefcase or some sort of carrying case.
Okay.
Pack some waters, pack a deodorant, put in like a spray on deodorant, like a all around deodorant where you could just pretty much mist your whole body. Put sunglasses. I would also pack at least a charger, like a portable charger for your phone. I would also put in like a plug and wire for your phone as well.
If you're doing a cosplay, an emergency sewing kit.
Yeah, sewing kit. I would also put in like a stain remover too, because I had like a Tide stick stain remover because that definitely helped me out. Um, I would also put in like a small little towel, and I would also put
Don't put your credit card in there.
No, your credit card goes in your pocket or whatever.
I say it's safe at home. Don't get
Nah,
tempted. Don't get tempted.
but
Just carry cash.
essentially, you think about all the things that you're gonna need while you're walking around and doing a whole bunch of stuff.
And for all
Um,
you listeners, there's your emergency con kit.
Pretty much.
Officially sponsored by the Random Anime Podcast.
Right. Now, we've talked about the main stuff to get you going into the convention. Assuming you already checked in, you already have your badge, you already have your hotel room, you're pretty much all set to go. Okay. First day, you got your badge on, maybe you're wearing your cosplay, you're all set to go. You go inside, you got plenty of things to do. Now, here
Sometimes too
is
much.
my suggestion to have what I would consider a very successful and fun not cosplay, a convention experience. Okay. One, if you are cosplaying, cosplay the whole time because normally you don't cosplay 24/7. So this is your time to really go all out in your cosplay and have fun and experience kind of life in your cosplay. So that's kind of number one. Number two is many of these conventions, especially the bigger ones, will have a list of all the panels that they will have all ready to go for all of the days of the convention. You look through the booklet or pamphlet or whatever it is that they have,
They're starting
and
to do online apps too, so they'll release it like a
right.
week or two in advance.
So look at those and decide which ones you are interested in. So when my friend and I went for our first convention, we were like thinking about going like 10 different panels. We went to a Digimon panel, a Sailor Moon panel, a Viz Media panel. Actually, we went to two Viz Media panels. We went to a Funimation panel. We went to a 18 plus panel. Actually, we went to two 18 plus panels,
For
which was actually
all those who are 18 or older, go to those. They are a lot of fun.
yep. Um, so branching off real quick, whenever you go to a convention, there are some 18 plus panels because of either nudity
Older crowd.
whenever they show, or could be the language that they use, or anything of adult nature.
Yeah,
Those,
like as
Funimation.
somebody, I've hosted panels before, and I've hosted, child friendly, well, all ages appropriate or 18 plus. But like usually, and I've been to plenty of stuff, but usually like because it's anime panels and anime can be really weird. So like if you see something that's 18 plus, don't be shocked if you see ultra violence or
well,
incredibly explicit sex. Like so just
Oh
also
heck, at the convention that I just went to, they have a panel called Anime Hell, where it's literally violence, murder, and weird crap.
yep.
yeah, we've that too. My panel is very similar to something like that too, like a lot of the time.
Weird. I'm just looking at the title. Weird crap with Ricky.
Yep. Well, now whenever you want to go to these 18 plus panels, you have to get what's called the VIP badge, or it's a VIP
Band.
wristband, or it's a VIP stamp, or it's something very special that they check your ID once. You get the wristband, or you get the badge, or you get the whatever, and then you're pretty much that's your ticket to get in. And
Fun
then you
tip:
get to
try
go into
if
all
they
of
do
those
do
different
a
things.
wristband. If they do a wristband, try not to put it on your arm. If they let them put it on your backpack, because if you try to take a shower with that wristband on, it's just gonna get all annoying. You'll have to
Yeah.
sleep with it. It'll chafe your arm. So
But
you have three options basically: either cut it off at the end of the day and get a new one the next day, wear it the whole weekend, or try to put it on your bag.
right. So that's essentially for that. Um so plan you're in your cosplay, you're going to all these different panels, you get to see all these different things, which panels could be one of the best experiences that you could have at the convention because you will see big companies there like Viz Media, Funimation, you'll have
Crunchyroll,
and
Netflix.
Crunchyroll, Netflix, Aniplex, you'll have what
Hulu
else?
was at one I just went to.
Grand Eastern Entertainment, I've seen there before.
Oh,
Um,
Disney. I went to one last year, and Disney was there because they were doing a Kingdom Hearts thing, and they were also doing a deluxe Studio Ghibli set where they
Nice.
had like it was every Studio Ghibli movie and Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy for like $200.
yeah,
Oh,
you'll
wow.
have you'll have that. You'll have so at those particular panels, if you could get to like every one of those, it's awesome because you get to see exclusive content that nobody else is ever going to see besides the people at the convention.
Sneak
Sometimes you get
previews.
right, so that's the sneak previews and stuff. Sometimes you get cool merchandise because they love giving away merchandise. Um that's how I got some cool posters and pins and some other badges and a few other cool nifty little exclusive things that were
Yeah.
limited edition
You
that you're
guys
not going to find
remember?
anywhere else.
You guys remember Shinomata,
Mm-mm.
No.
the world without dirty jokes?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. So 2 years ago, Funimation was at a convention, and Funimation almost at every convention they'll have a plus 18 panel called the Peep Show.
Yep, I've gone to the peep show.
And
Definitely a fun one.
at this certain Peep Show, they gave two things out at this panel. They gave out a pack of tissues with
Oh, my.
high school DxD on it,
Oh my god.
Oh,
I
my.
would have wanted that.
and they gave away these flags. Like it's a mini flag on a stick of Socks, the organization from A World Without Dirty Jokes.
Yep.
So we were all made honorary Socks members.
Yep. Now,
And people were chanting, "We want panties," because they in the show that
so,
she puts it over their face.
so the peep show, if you ever get to a panel from Funimation where they do the peep show, James,
18 plus.
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of fun times with that because they want you to interact via Twitter while they're doing the
Don't do it on your regular account.
No, you can do it on your regular account. I was trying to do it a whole bunch of times and I was close to getting a prize from them, but one person beat me to it. They were saying, "So guys, if you were paying attention, when was the first time you saw nipples?" And then everybody was trying to like chip in and go ahead and say, "Oh, it was this anime that was like blah blah blah." And then one person on Twitter posted, "You're all wrong. We saw nipples on the guy in this anime. Guys have nipples too." And they started laughing hysterically. They were like, "You get a prize for saying that." So panels are definitely a lot of fun.
Hey, it is true. Men have nipples too. Free the nipple.
Yes.
Hashtag free nip.
So the panels can be a whole lot of fun. You get to experience a lot of different personalities, a lot of different companies or different people just like you and I doing a whole bunch of different things. Like I said, I went to a whole bunch of different panels. I did one on I went to one on Attack on Titan, went to one on Digimon, one on it was like Japanese television shows, commercials and culture of other sorts. That was an interesting.
AKA the weirdest things you will ever see on TV.
Yep. Um
Like, okay, if we ever do a live video of all of us, we need to do a challenge, like a do not laugh challenge of Japanese commercials.
Could do that.
I have
Um,
about like 2
so
gigabytes of them from my pedal.
so there is that, right? Now, Ricky,
Yes.
I'm sure you guys have a thing called either Artist Alley or Artist Section or whatever it's called, right?
What we do?
So explain that to the audience and to James.
The artist alley is just basically where people sell a lot of their art, and a lot of that is stuff basically by people who do contents at home, and people like they do fan art of various animes and so on. Like,
Right, so they're essentially doing their fan art and they're selling prints and different stuff like that, right?
yeah, that's
I
right.
have a feeling that we will see Buta in one of them very soon.
Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
probably. Um,
If you haven't yet, go check out his art. It's actually pretty good.
it's pretty good. Now, Zach, another section of the convention besides just the regular hallways, the panel rooms, which there's a whole bunch usually, and the artist alley, what would be another section of the convention?
I will quote the great Philip J. Fry for this one. The land of shut up and take my money. The
Yeah,
dealer's room.
the dealer's room or the dealer's den. What's in the dealer's room or the dealer's den?
What isn't there? Honestly.
Explain some of the stuff.
The dealer's room is where literally every anime or comic book store or any major sponsor that's there, they will have every sort of merch that you can think of. Funimation, if they're there, they'll have a whole lineup of DVDs and merch for sale somewhere. You'll have these people there's a bunch of people who usually go for like the traditional Japanese clothing, like the kimono and those kind of things. There'll be people selling that. There'll probably be people selling real weapons, like real swords and that kind of stuff, but there are certain rules with that one.
You'll have people that are selling contacts, like
Yeah,
special
there's wigs,
cosplaying contacts,
contacts,
wigs.
tails, uh, figures, manga, DVDs, random grab bags, wall scrolls, body pillows.
You name it,
I
it's
just went
there.
to one that had an entire corner dedicated to Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
You will find anything that you can possibly think of, but if you're at a smaller convention, don't expect if you're like, oh, I want X figure to be there, because it might not. But if you go to a larger convention
It's
and you're
there.
like really
It's there.
specific,
It's
it'll be
there.
there.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely there. I mean, when I went to my first anime convention, I got a few pop figures. I got I got my contacts, um my Sasuke cosplay contacts for Rasengan. I got what else did I get? Oh, I got a few different things here and there. My one friend got a lot of artist prints, so she got that. I've
Hey,
seen people get costumes. I've seen people get you name it, they've purchased it.
and also depending on certain events that are there. Like usually at most things they'll have like night entertainment, so like a concert or dance or a rave or something like that.
Yep.
And they'll be selling like the glow in the dark glasses or pants that light up or the masks that move with the beat.
And and going along with the point that Zach was saying, a lot of these different things, you're going to be waking up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, getting dressed real quick, and getting a quick bite to eat. And
It's doing it all over again.
usually around like 9 o'clock is when they open up. 9, 10 o'clock is when they open up, and then you're just there all day. So don't expect to sleep much.
Okay.
Expect
If
to
if you have
be
a
around.
job, ask for Monday off because you will be tired.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, James,
Yes.
in talking about Artist Alley, Dealer's Den, and the different, uh, not really, I guess you could talk about the forums and everything else as, or, the panels being panels, right? Now,
Yeah.
there's one other very special thing that seems to be the theme of not every convention, but I would say a good 90% of conventions. And I know, Ricky, you've had them over by you too.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And that is having special guests.
Yep.
Yay!
Now,
Loads of cool people.
here's my tip, which I'm going to pitch in for a special guest or multiple special guests that will appear at a convention. If, let's say, you have multiple voice actors that you like, let's say you're a fan of. Don't throw out any names, guys. I'll just throw out like one or two real quick. Let's say you're a fan of Todd Habercorn, or let's say you're a fan of um I don't know who else. There's so many of them out there. So many of them out there. Um let's say you have at least three favorites that are actually going to be at the convention on the same day. So on Saturday, let's say.
Hope you
Okay.
like waiting in line.
You will wait in line and they open up the line at a certain time to start lining up. You got to expect, if you're not like the first one right there, you got to expect at least maybe an hour and a half to 2 hour wait
Depending on
just
who it is.
just to see who it is. And if it's a big person, it's going to be a long wait. So essentially, you got to kind of pick and choose between the different people. And unfortunately, you got to just make your decision and commit to that one person. Unless you get super lucky and you see the one person and then you're done and you have plenty of time to jump on another line to see the other person or two people.
And sometimes they do it in lines where it's one long line for all three.
Right. They might be sitting at the same table and you just kind of walk up one, two, three, like kind of to the table and you see all of them at once.
Yeah.
So here is kind of my quick tip for that in extension to the line waiting and picking. If you have something you want them to sign, the general rule of thumb is one thing or one or two things. If you don't care about an autograph, that's fine too. If you just want to say hi or whatever.
Okay.
Um, also kind of be respectful and keep things to a minimum. Like if you want to do a quick photo with them, like a quick selfie with them, they don't mind doing that because if you have your camera ready to go and you're just quick taking a picture and it's like 10 seconds, it's no big deal. But there's been people who have whip out their camera and they're trying to do a video and they're trying to do like a 5-10 minute video and they're doing this and that.
Mm-hmm.
There's
They will
there's
throw you out of that line.
there's like hundreds of people waiting on the line to see this person or people. So you got to kind of think about a quick in and out hi bye kind of thing with them. They'll do a signature, they'll do a quick photo or something like that. Maybe you have a quick question like what's your newest project you're working on or something like that and they'll just do a quick answer, but other than that you got to keep it kind of short, sweet, to the point.
Yes.
Yeah,
Also, con hack. If you don't have anything to sign, use your badge. The back of the badge is usually always free for signatures.
I've done that before with one of my favorite cosplayers. Her name is Yaya Han.
I got her too. She was at the convention I just went to.
Yeah, I told you guys a while back that at one point in time we were going to be at a convention. We were going to be cosplay judges.
Uh-oh.
But that convention never went about, never came through.
Mm.
So it is what it is with that. But
But the number one rule out of all this: have fun.
yeah,
It's
Yes.
it's meant to be fun. You don't even have to go with your friends. You can just go by yourself.
people watch.
Be in a cosplay, people watch, go to panels. You could literally spend all weekend by yourself and still have fun.
Right, and a lot of that stuff is free. It's included. You don't have to buy anything at the dealer's den or the artist alley. You could just go there for free. It's not like an entry fee. You already paid
Yeah,
your
you can
entry
just go
fee.
down there and talk to the dealers. You can
Right.
ask them, "Hey, do you have an online store?" Or I like this anime. Do you have that?
Or you could just start making friends and geeking out on whatever your favorite anime is. If they're cosplaying something and you're not, maybe you're just wearing a t-shirt that has your favorite whatever on it. You can go ahead and start geeking out about whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you're wearing like a Luffy on your shirt, or if you're wearing a Pokemon, or if you're wearing whatever, start talking about that stuff. You would be surprised with how many people would just start opening up and just start befriending you immediately. Especially when it's kind of like my best interpretation of it, and I'm sure Ricky's gonna agree with me on it. My interpretation of once you're anywhere on the premises at the convention, it's like a safe zone.
Yeah, it is like, and it's just so easy to really open up to all these people. Like, and as you were just saying there about like people who just come up and spot like maybe a T-shirt or a backpack or whatever. Like, the amount of people that would just come up to me and say like all these things, like, oh my god, I gotta say that's like the classiest thing I ever seen in the world. Just one example at the artist alley, like a girl noticed I was wearing an Earthworm Jim T-shirt, and she was an artist, and she was so impressed. She gave me an Earthworm Jim pin for free, like.
Right.
You lucky.
But
I would say the last word, but I'd be censored.
yeah. But essentially that's a mixture of everything that there is to know about conventions. We kind of just did the rough overview of it all. In future podcast episodes of the Random Anime Podcast, we'll go into details, maybe bring some throwback stories of times we've had at the convention. I have some pretty interesting ones of a guy who actually crashed into a door and broke the glass because it was almost see-through. I've
What is he, a bird?
got a story of a guy who actually passed out waiting in line to get badges.
I got a story of the Westboro Baptist Church coming to protest at a convention, and
No
a bunch of
way.
people dressed up as Jesus stood in front of them
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
time.
That
But
is
but
amazing.
there's a lot of interesting things that we can go ahead and go over. Definitely a lot of interesting things. All in all, it's definitely a fun and interesting experience. So, James, did we sell you on going to a convention? At least try to
Of
go to one
course.
soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, I will try.
Save up your money and go.
Don't spend all your money on Thursday. Wait till
But
You
at
won't
least
regret it.
wait till at
I've
least
never gone to a
Saturday.
con that I regretted.
yeah, no, you'll never regret going to a convention. But that wraps
You
it.
may regret going to a bigger con first. Try going to a smaller one first, then going
You
to big
might,
con.
you might. But that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Let us know in the comments below which conventions you guys have gone to, which characters you guys have cosplayed in, maybe some of the different panels you've either hosted or have gone to. Have you gone to any of these different conventions that we have mentioned, whether it's Otakon, Anime Next, or any of these other
Animazement.
Animazement? There's a whole bunch of different ones all over the world. Let us know in the comments. We want to know your convention experiences. especially with these interesting things that have come and gone. We want to share that experience just as much as we have to you guys. We want to hear it for your experience to us in the comments. Hit that thumbs up button, share with your friends, subscribe if you have not yet, and hit that bell icon. And as always, guys, deuces up.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye-bye.